Quarterback Tyler Buchner here. Whenever you guys are ready.
What are some of your emotions going into this weekend?
I think there's a lot of emotions. It's my first start playing at Ohio State, night game. I think I would be lying if I said there wasn't a little bit of, nerves. I think that's pretty normal, pretty human. I'm definitely really excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, my family coming out and watching me play, and some relatives who haven't seen me play in a while. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to our offense going out there and really displaying all the hard work we've been doing this offseason.
Tyler, what are one or two things in your life and your career that prepared you for Saturday night?
The first thing that comes to mind is probably the Virginia Tech game. I'd say that's the most similar experience I've had in my life. And then I'd say every single rep of every game or practice I've done playing football, because at the end of the day, we're going to the place, and as Coach Freeman would say, the field's 53 to third by 120, and I'm just there and we're playing ball. So I'd say every snap and every rep I've gotten is the thing that's prepared me the most.
You prepared for the 4-2-5 defense last year against Oklahoma State. In preparing this time around, what do you see a little bit differently that will help you?
Week one's always interesting because you don't really know. You don't have a ton of stuff on exactly what they're going to do, but we have a pretty good idea based on Oklahoma State last year, and I think schematically the 4-2-5 and whatever it is they call it. There's a good defense, and the players are really good, and they do a good job running it.
When Saturday night 7:30 rolls around, what are people going to see on the field from Tyler Buchner?
Hopefully they see a kid who's having fun and operating at a high level and encouraging his teammates. I'll try to be the best leader I can, and support those guys on the field around me, and hopefully we can execute and come out with a win.
Tyler, when you in the tunnel and you see in that field through your helmet, what's one thing you mind as you get ready to run out? What do you expect to be one thing you mind when you get ready to run out on that field for the first time in your first regular season game as a starter?
Probably the thing that I don't really think about much when I'm running out there. Probably like, oh, this is really cool. That's probably what will be going through my head.
I don't know if you're a big pregame routine guy, but do you see that shifting at all now that you progress to being a starting quarterback as opposed to coming in as a backup?
Yeah, I've never been a huge pregame routine, like superstition guy. I'd say my one superstition is I don't really listen to music before games. Like I don't have headphones in or whatever, like a lot of people do. There's not a lot that really changes. I like to, some of the go to bed early. Some of the stuff I do on game day. I like to keep, pretty scheduled and, in order and make sure everything's in check. But
And having some time now since you've been officially named the starting quarterback, has that a lot freed you up at all mentally just in the preparation for the game?
I'd say a little bit. Excuse me, but this whole off season, this process, whether or not I was going to be named the starter, I was going to continue to prepare and come out and do the best I could. And if I wasn't named the starter, I'd still be preparing the same way I am now. I know Drew's doing that as well, and so it's just to continue to prepare like you are the starter, no matter what your position is.
When the game finally does end in Columbus, and you're looking back, obviously a win would be the ideal scenario. But aside from that, what would a good performance look like to you?
I think it all comes down to execution. If I can do my job every single play and get the ball to all those playmakers we have in space and operate efficiently, I think we'll be pleased with the result.
Tyler, how important is it for you guys offensively to keep control of the football, maintain control of it, run the ball, because how dynamic their offense is for you guys to really control the tempo of the game, I guess?
Yeah, I think there are times to do that, to control the ball and control the clock and wind it down, but that isn't the whole thing. We're not going to come out in the wing tee and snap it at 1 second for every single play. I think it's certainly important to limit their offensive drives. Their offense is obviously extremely talented, and they know how to put up points. But it's about limiting. You got to win the turnover battle. And you got to limit their offensive possessions by if it's us scoring or staying on the field or continuing drives. Do our best to do that.
Who are the guys? I know obviously you mentioned week one. It's really hard to be able to tell exactly what to expect from their defense. But who are the guys when you have evaluated film defensively that are like, you as quarterback are like, all right, I gotta make sure I'm watching out for this guy?
Yeah, I'd say, when it comes to D-line, number 44 is really good. He's in my grade. And, 35, Eichenberg, Mike. He's been there a long time. He's a really good player. And if I had to pick a guy in the secondary, probably 14, or their safety, Ronnie Hickman. He's another really good player. He's played a lot of snaps for him.
Tyler, I'm sure a lot of people have volunteered advice to you over the last couple of weeks. Is there any advice that's kind of stuck with you?
Yeah, probably, my dad just sort of tells me to, have fun. So it's probably the best advice I got.
What's the worst advice you've gotten?
I don't know. I can tell you.
Tyler, as you visualize the game, what does it look like to you?
What do you mean? Like,
When you visualize the game in your mind right now, what does it look like to you?
yeah, I sort of don't, it's hard to envision a game as a whole, but, I envision like certain plays, you get certain looks, and, I like to visualize myself, in the play working and, doing your job and executing. So I think, visualizing is a really powerful tool. And, when you can visualize success, I know there's some studies somewhere that says like it's helpful, so.
Have you and Stroud crossed paths anywhere at camps or anything like that?
Yeah, back in high school, I've been at camps with him, and I've thrown with him a couple times in the off season before, just being in the same area.
Tyler, I was kind of getting to that just as far as CJ just mentioning that you guys are from the same area out there, but he also talked about how he's happy that, you and Drew were kind of battling it out for the position, two great quarterbacks, and that this defense, he knows what to look for and compliments, as far as what Notre Dame can provide on defense. But what can you say about their defense and, what you're going to face as a starting quarterback?
Yeah, their defense, they're obviously really talented, and, schematically they do some things that, little change-ups, and I think Coach Knowles talked about that before, and, he likes to, try to create confusion for coordinators and quarterbacks, and so, it's picking up on those little things and doing our best, seeing it and executing off of that.
Obviously, you're not necessarily watching film on CJ because you're preparing for the defense, but as someone who's worked with him and known him, what makes him a special player?
Yeah, CJ, I think he's arguably one of the best quarterback in the country, and he spins the ball, and he's got just a tremendous job of putting the ball out there for his receivers, and keep like not turning the ball over, and being agile in the pocket. I mean, he's one of the best in the country. It's hard to say anything bad about him.
Tyler, being a starting quarterback here and, taking on a very important task for Notre Dame, what's it mean, I guess, to win a position and then be able to have this as your intro to your position?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I kind of guess what's like, winning a starting job here and, being at Notre Dame of all schools, is there any pressure, any intensity as far as going out there and performing well in week one?
Yeah, sure. There's some pressure, and I think that's just a part of it. I think I sort of feel it a little bit, but I don't think it really has affected me a whole lot. I try to keep everything, stay in this building, and continue every day to work hard and prepare, and continue to do my best to prepare and put these guys in the offense in the best position to succeed.
Have you had these type of conversations with Drew? Have you guys talked about just the intensity of this matchup and having those natural nerves as quarterbacks for Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think it's good to talk things through with your friends and your family and those you love and who are close to you. So obviously I've done that.
I believe we learned about the Avery Davis news either the day of being named starter or around that same time. How have you seen the receiver room respond to that? How's that been kind of preparing for the season without a weapon that you might have?
Yeah, first off, losing AD is horrible, and he's been a tremendous leader. He's captain, and he continues to lead every single day. And I think a lot of guys on this team look up to him, including me. And on that other part, all the receivers have sort of there's this extra role for them to step up and sort of replace that role and fill it up. And I think they've all stepped up, and when it comes in their preparation and their leadership and their execution, they've done a tremendous job of that.
That's kind of a two-part
Last question, guys.
Kind of a two-part question. how have you been? Did you have to kind of rally the offense together, or after the news of Avery Davis, and if so, how were you able to do it?
I think that was something that AD talked to some guys, and I think that was something more on the coach's part, and players as a whole, to get with him and talk to AD and rally together around that.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Tyler.